Hi, it's Travis White with the Persuasive Communication Tip of the Week. In previous videos, we've talked about the perfect structure for a persuasive presentation. And according to the Greeks, that was a three-part structure. First, you establish trust, what the Greeks would call ethos. Then you state the logic of your argument, what the Greeks would call logos. And then you touch on the audience's emotions, what the Greeks would call pathos. I'd like to touch on the first one of those. How do you establish trust with your audience? Because if you do establish trust with the audience, everything else flows more smoothly. Your argument is easier to make. And there are many things the audience will be asking as you step forward to give a presentation. They'll say, why should we trust this person? Does this person share our values? Does this person fit in with us? And does this person have our best interests in mind? So those are questions you'll want to address either verbally or non-verbally. And the ways you do that, a variety of recommendations here. One is show up prepared. Know what's on the audience's mind. Talk to an organizer of the audience or talk to members of the audience before you get there. Ask them what their concerns are and address those concerns specifically. Don't talk about simply things that are interesting to you or to us. Talk about what's interesting to the audience. Also show up on time, be prepared, be well rehearsed. The audience will know if you're well rehearsed or not. And if you are well rehearsed and well prepared, if you start on time, finish ahead of time, as we've mentioned in other videos, then the audience will say, this person values us, this person respects our time. In fact, this person has given us a very valuable gift. That is the gift of time. They finished ahead of schedule. You also need to show your audience your experience, because one of the questions your audience will have is, does this person know what to do? Does this person have the practical knowledge to recommend a solution for us? And particularly for younger presenters, you know, you may get up there and the audience will look at you and say, well, why would I trust this person? They're obviously very young. They can't have much experience. So one of the things you want to do is summarize your experience and summarize why that experience is relevant to the problem at hand and that you have the practical wisdom to know what to do and to recommend a good solution. Now, in doing that, you don't want to come across as a braggart. You don't want to brag and say, I know everything and I'm smarter than you. You certainly don't want to talk down to your audience. So in summarizing your experience, what you want to say is, rather than saying something like this, I used to be an executive at a big, important company. That's kind of bragging. But you can give the same information to an audience by saying, I used to be an executive at a big, important company, and when I made a really fundamental mistake, and I learned a valuable lesson for that. That communicates that you have experience, that communicates that you've learned, that communicates that you have wisdom that would be valuable to the audience. Also, remember where you are. I once saw a speaker, I was in Wales. Wales is part of Great Britain. Great Britain is part of the United Kingdom. And I saw an American speaker get up to give a presentation to 200 people in Wales. And he said, I'm so happy to be back in England today. Well, he blew his trust. He completely eliminated any trust that the audience might have in him because they were saying, he doesn't even know he's in Wales. How can we trust him on anything else? So one of the things you'll want to do is talk with your audience beforehand, learn their concerns, learn what they're interested in, and learn what's the stupidest possible thing you could do. That's always a very good question to ask. What's the stupidest possible thing I could say? So you want to fit in, you want to show your values, always talk about values, and of course at Lawson, the 5 values that are core to our concept, that are core to our company, are very valuable things to talk about as you're establishing trust. So show you that you fit in, show that you share good values, speak to the audience's concerns, show that you've rehearsed, that you're prepared, that you take them seriously, and that you'll use their time wisely. If you do that early on in your presentation, everything else will flow more smoothly. Your argument will be easier to make. That's the Persuasive Communication Tip of the Week. See you again next week.